What's going on, guys? It's Nick here, back in the video. Last week, half PPR, 12 teams, second spot. This week, we're going to do full PPR, 3 wide receivers. We'll randomize the spot and just not take 2, 4. All right, it's close, but not too close there. And we're still not going to change anything. I think last week was pretty good in the sense of like what we're seeing overall. So I don't think we need to adjust, rookies up, running backs up, anything. I think last week showed the ADPs on here for the mock drafting are pretty accurate. Okay. What are we seeing? We don't want to show drafted. We want to, well, I'll keep this up, then we'll show cheat sheet after. Chase, Saquon, CeeDee Lamb. Makes sense. Nothing crazy happened at the beginning of the draft. Again, this is 3 wide receivers. So we've also got a flex spot. I can show you the team right here. 3 wide receiver spots, a flex spot, and then the 6-player bench. So we're going to want to have a wide receivers. The goal typically in a 3 wide receiver team, and especially even in full PPR, is you're going to want to be starting a wide receiver in the flex. So you should assume you're starting 4 wide receivers every week. Excuse me. There's also an opportunity for 4 bye weeks, 4 injuries, 4 bad matchups. So realistically, you want 5 wide receivers you feel really good about so that you can start 4 of them every week. You're also going to have 4 chances for busts. So it's like you're going to use your 5th wide receiver a significant amount of the time. Understand that when you're drafting. So it pushes away the value of quarterback, the value of tight end. We'll still take them early if it's a good value, but it pushes those values aside a little bit because not only are they just less percentage of the starting lineup, but wide receiver just becomes so much more valuable. You have to pay attention to the position a little bit more. And for both positions, quarterback and tight end, there's plenty of late round options this season. Okay. So given that, we're obviously not taking quarterback or tight end in the 4th overall position. Our options are basically, do we go with Bijan or Gibbs? Those are the other tier 1 running backs. You could throw Genty into tier 1 as well, but obviously I have both those guys ranked higher than Genty, so we're obviously not taking Genty here. Or we go with Justin Jefferson. I think that's kind of that top tier of wide receiver as well, is you've got Chase obviously at the top. You've got kind of Lamb with Jefferson. Kind of personal preference. This is one where you would kind of go through, do a bunch of mock drafts, see how your team kind of works out, taking them. I'm kind of leaning towards, so I pulled up right now what I have for the full PPR 3 receiver rankings. Right now, I do have these running backs first, and the thinking is basically, you've got, right now I have the rankings. I'll tell you the top 6. Chase, Bijan, Saquon, Gibbs, Lamb, Jefferson. And it's just a million wide receivers after that. You get into the tier of Genty, McCaffrey, and Achane at 12, 13, 14, but then a million more wide receivers after that point. My guess is we're probably going to get 2 pretty good running backs or wide receivers at 209 and 304. And we probably won't love the value of running back at either of those spots because I wouldn't take a non-top, probably 6 running back there. And I think my preference would be try and go hero. Try and take a running back now, million wide receivers, go back to running back a little bit later on. So let's see if that works out for us or if we should have gone with Justin Jefferson with this pick. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, it was Bijan. Sorry. I thought it was someone else for a second. Okay, so we take him. After we go, Bauer's the only tight end. No quarterbacks go off the board. More wide receivers than running back get drafted. So at wide receiver goes Jefferson, St. Brown, Neighbors, Puka, A.J. Brown, Brian Thomas Jr., Nico, JSN, London, Ladd. None of that was crazy. I think JSN at 201, but in a full PPR league, I have him at 206. So that one's probably like the biggest reach. Other than that, everything there made sense. At running back, Gibbs goes at 108. That's a really strong value. Achane at 202, Genty at 205. So whoever just got this Olave Garden, my goodness, getting a Gibbs Genty stack is insane. So let's see how this team kind of works out here, team 8. And then McCaffrey and Henry go right before us. So as I said, this is not a spot where we're going to want the running backs, right? Bucky Irving's the top guy. It would be Bucky, then Jacobs, then JT, and then Chase Brown. That's kind of who I have in the rankings, but none of them are good picks here. Bucky's the closest, but he's still not a good pick. So again, as I alluded to, we're probably going to be going with wide receiver at this spot. Right now, I have the rankings T. Higgins, Marv, and Tyreek Hill. Marv's way down here at the wide receiver 22 by their quote-unquote ADP. So we wouldn't obviously go with him. We could maybe hope we can get him at the next pick. I had Tyreek Hill before. Then actually before recording this video, I dropped him down behind this range because I had him after JSN or like right next to JSN. Just a little bit concerned with the whole wrist thing. Basically, he's not going to be good to go until about potentially June, maybe even July. Again, we don't know yet. We also have the unknowns of like, is he even playing for Miami this season? So just a little bit more risk than I kind of want to take. And when the projection was already pretty close between him and T. Higgins, it's like, I don't know. I feel like just take T. Higgins. If Jefferson happened to be there at the next pick, or if Tyreek Hill was happened to be there at the next pick, sure, we can go with him. My guess, though, is that we're probably going to get Marv at the next one. So let's take T, a little bit more of a sure thing, just knowing what the offensive situation is going to be for him. I think that's smart. Okay, so after we go, McBride goes at 211. Josh Allen goes at 303. So we've got another tight end and a quarterback off the board. Bucky and JT are off the board, and then Tyreek Hill and Garrett Wilson also get drafted. So it is what we thought. In full PPR again, my top wide receiver right now ranked at 210 is Marvin Harrison Jr. If we did not go with him, it would be Terry McLaurin. If we didn't go with him, it would be DJ Moore. I know Mike Evans is like a really nice name to see up here, but in full PPR, him being a year older, them drafting a wide receiver that I really love in the draft, Ibuka, reasons to maybe not take him in the early third round of a full PPR format. Again, the total reception ceiling, not amazing for him. So I think Marv, I know people are definitely off Marvin Harrison Jr. Again, if you wanted to just go with Terry McLaurin here, you can. I like him. I still think he's a great talent. I still think he's in a great spot there. They're not bringing in wide receiver talent really behind him. Locked in target share. I think he's going to have a bounce back season. Or I guess not even bounce back because he never, I guess bounce back to his college days. I guess bounce back to what we thought he would be. I think he's the top pick on the board there. So take him. Our team again. Bijan at the top. He's our hero. He's our anchor, however you want to call it. He's our running back that we're going to stick to. Our running back 2 is not going to be as good as a typical running back 2. More than likely, again, maybe we see something that we really like. But we are waiting at running back 2 until we see one again that we love and we don't like the wide receiver value. Then we've got T. Higgins and Marvin Harrison Jr., again, 3 wide receiver format. Okay, after we go, Lamar, Daniels, and Jalen Hurts are gone. That ends the top 4. I want to confirm so I'm not lying to you. Yes, the clear top 4. Actually, the exact same as last mock draft Monday. I think we were sitting there at 411, and then Jalen Hurts got taken at 410. So again, get kind of sniped on Jalen Hurts, and it's the same thing I talked about last week. Whenever there's kind of a tier that ends right before you, it's not ideal to start the next tier because you're just guaranteeing yourself worse value than the person right next to you who probably has a similar build because they're drafting players right at the same kind of spot as you. See if there's some other form of value you can get elsewhere. Just turn what was an unfortunate thing into a positive. And then only Kittle goes at tight end. There's also kind of a clear top 3 tight ends this season. We drop off into this next range. We're not going to take tight end with this pick. Running backs. Jacobs, Chase Brown, Kyron Williams, Ken Walker, Breece Hall, and Chuba Hubbard go off the board. All of that is correct. There was nothing crazy there. And then after we took Marv, DJ Moore, Rashee Rice, Mike Evans, Sutton, McLaurin, and Adams. I still think this Sutton ADP, again, he went in round 3 in last mock draft Monday. Even at round, where do I have Cortland Sutton in this format? I just think he's being drafted a little bit ahead of where he should be, 605. So I think people are a little bit too pumped about Cortland Sutton. I still think it's a good offense. I'm just not super into Sutton this season. They brought in new rookie that they're really excited about. They've got a million wide receivers. The ground game should be better. They bring in Evan Ingram, who is probably going to be much more targeted than their tight ends were last season. Like, I don't know. I'm just a little bit scared about the target share to be taking him in round like 3, round 4. So who are we going to take? Okay. Again, Burrow's an option, but I would prefer to wait. I wouldn't take Burrow here. Laporta, Hawkinson, they're options, but I don't think I would go with them at this spot. James Cook definitely stands out. I'm pretty sure he's the top running back I have in the rankings. Kamara. So Kamara, then James Cook, only separated by like 6 points, but still a difference there. I have Kamara at 403, James Cook at 408. So we're at 409. Both of those do represent good picks, so we'll keep them starred. At wide receiver, it looks like we're kind of looking at this general range of Worthy, Devonta Smith, Rashee Rice, Mike Evans, Zay Flowers, that sort of range. So we see Zay, we see Devonta Smith, we see Worthy, but Worthy's a little bit further down, so probably beneficial to us to kind of wait on that. DK Metcalf also in that range. DK is an interesting one. Of course, they just lost George Pickens or traded him away. Obviously, DK, he's getting $1 billion a year. They are centering the passing game around him. He has significant weekly upside. It's just like, who the heck is playing quarterback for that team? They're going to be slow. They're going to be run heavy. That being said, if he has a 25% target share, and they kind of use him how we've always hoped that DK Metcalf would be used as a featured weapon, not just running straight up go routes, but getting across the field as well. Just get the ball into his hands, moving across the field. I do actually think they're like going to do that this season. So pretty good upside for him. I think you could kind of go with whoever you wanted at this spot. For us in the ADP game, it would make sense to take Zay Flowers. He's 8 spots ahead of Smith, 9 spots ahead of Metcalf, 11 spots, or not even 11, 15 spots ahead of Worthy. Like, it would make sense if we thought we were taking 2 wide receivers here to go with Zay Flowers, hope that one of those guys is available for our next pick, and have a really, really strong 4 wide receivers. Part of me is thinking the better move might be to grab that second running back. I just look at this next range and I'm like, could I get Harvey in the next round? Not the next round, but like the next one. So like we're currently at 409. 504 is going to go by. At 609, I'm kind of thinking about what running back is going to be at that spot, because I think if we leave Cook and Kamara, they're both going to be gone at 504. I think in these 6 picks, we're going to see, like, especially this team having not drafted a running back yet, we're probably not going to get either one of them. And so do I want to take 2 wide receivers here and kind of have some level of risk at the, 609, that maybe Harvey's not there? Maybe like Harvey, Henderson would be the 2 that, Hampton, obviously. Where do I have Hampton? Because maybe that can be our bailout here. I have Hampton at 410. So that's actually an interesting thought. I'm cool with any of Kamara, Cook, or Hampton at running back 2. That now gives us 3 in 6 that we need to survive, not just 2. And one of these teams does have, 2 running backs, a tight end, no wide receivers. They're more likely to go with wide receiver. So I guess the question is, do we go Flowers, cross our fingers, and get a running back? Or do we just take our top running back, who would be Alvin Kamara, and then probably still end up with a wide receiver? We'd probably have but then you run the risk. I think we risk it with running back. We already have Bijan. Just lock up Flowers, force them to take the wide receivers, or force them to take the running backs. And if they take 3 of the running backs, we're probably going to be left with one of these wide receivers we really like in a format that favors wide receiver. I think there's probably more risk in taking like Kamara here. Maybe those wide receivers all go off the board, and now we're not in love with the 3rd wide receiver in a format where we want to kind of like 5 of them. So, okay, I think that's the move. I think we've kind of reasoned through that enough. Go cheat sheet, Zay Flowers. We'll draft him, and we'll see what happens. After we go, 3 running backs do go off the board, but one of them is one that we are okay with. Joe Mixon. So Cook goes, Kamara goes, Mixon goes. And then we see Devonta Smith and Xavier Worthy come off the board. Also, Hawkinson is drafted. So we are left with another decision, like a very real decision here. Hampton versus DK Metcalf. I have them back to back. So Hampton is the 410. DK Metcalf is the 409. We're at 504. Good value for us. And if you're looking strictly at flex value, which you shouldn't because it's running back too, but they would be identical. 206.3 full PPR projected points for DK Metcalf, 207 for Martin Hampton. What is the move? So again, from a game theory perspective here, if we took DK Metcalf, we now have 4 wide receivers that we're very confident are going to have good seasons. Good, right? We want to be confident in 5 because we know how much we're going to use that position. If we go with Hampton, we unlock a unique ceiling here where if we can hit on some of these other wide receivers, we could have, a wide heavy start to the draft, still strong wide receivers, but also have potentially 2 running back ones to pair with that. I don't know which one is better. I would be very surprised if we got Hampton at the next pick. Theoretically, it's possible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You've got 16 picks need to go by. It's not going to happen. Hampton's going to be gone. I think my lean right now, though, is to say I still also like Harvey, and I'm okay if Harvey is my running back too. DK Metcalf is relatively clearly the top wide receiver off the board. Like, Olave's good. Godwin's good in this format. Waddle. Pickens. But we're starting to get into a range where, I don't really want these guys in my starting lineup. So if I took Metcalf and I got Harvey at the next one, I'd still be very okay with that beginning. I'm just trying to think through, would I rather lock up Hampton? Do I think Pickens probably wouldn't be there. But if I could do Hampton Pickens, that would be a much stronger option than going Metcalf and hope that Harvey's there. And if Harvey's not there, I guess we would just go with Henderson. It's an interesting call. Let me know in the comment section. What would you guys do with this one? We've gotten some interesting ones in this draft. I don't know. I think my lean. What do teams have right now? A decent amount of wide receivers, but it's kind of a mix. Like, this team's looking wide receiver, not looking. But yeah, there's probably going to be 8 wide receivers drafted, maybe 7 to 8 wide receivers. 2, 3, 4. And it looks like right at that Pickens range. I'm going to risk it. I'm going to risk it and see if we can get Pickens at this next one. So I'm going to draft him Martin Hampton. Draft him now. It looks like, unfortunately, we did not get it because more than 8 got drafted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 wide receivers go off the board. Oh, man. Are we going to just go with the opposite of what we were talking about before? Because RJ Harvey's still there. So Metcalf, Olave, Pickens. We weren't even close. Pickens goes at 507. Addison, Tet, Godwin, Waddle, Hunter, Judy, Jawan, all off the board. Only Pacheco and James Conner go at running back. Mixon, Mahomes, Baker go at quarterback, and then Laporta goes at 607. So Harvey's still there. Henderson is still there. And this makes it interesting when we go back to our initial decision, taking Bijan. Our team is probably better had we gone Jefferson. So that's something to keep in the back of our mind. We're going to do plenty of these mock drafts. We're going to have different decisions these first rounds. Looking back on it, our team's better. If we just drafted Justin Jefferson and then we went with 4 wide receivers here and we took Hampton, Harvey, maybe Henderson after that, and we just load up on 3 rookie running backs that are all going to be extraordinarily good this season, that is probably the move. And I've kind of looked at that a little bit. So I've been doing the Underdog drafts, obviously, and you can't translate Underdog to now. But what I've been doing a lot in the Underdog drafts is, unless I get one of the premier running backs in round 1, I've been going super wide receiver heavy because there are a lot of really good mid-round running backs this season. Again, Breece Hall is going a little bit later again. I'm not super into Breece Hall right now, but if his ADP keeps to drop, and like if you got Breece Hall in round 5, it's pretty darn good value at that point, right? Kamara, Mixon, Cook, Hampton, Harvey, Henderson. You can even go down here. Judkins has a ton of upside this season. Warren, I think, is a good value. Aaron Jones has good value. Montgomery, Caleb Johnson. He could have 1 million touches for the Steelers. Like, you keep going through here. Whoever works out for the Dallas running backs has a lot of upside. What if in Jacksonville they trade away Etienne? You've got Tank Bigsby and you've got Tootin. Cam Scatterbo, I'm really excited about. It's like you start looking through all these backs and you're like, there's actually a lot in this range. It's almost like the reverse dead zone this season of like in previous years, you got to this range and you're like, there's nothing. I think because of the resurgence of this like new running back class, we're starting to throw in a lot of like really good options into these middle rounds to where I've been leaning very, very wide receiver heavy early on Underdog because I can load up on so many good mid-round ones. And I kind of feel like it's translating a little bit more than it typically does into redraft leagues where Bijan's awesome, but would I rather have Bijan and who's the top wide receiver on the board right now? Like a Dunze? Let's just say Bijan and a Dunze, or Jefferson and your favorite rookie running back, or David Montgomery or Aaron Jones. Like probably the Jefferson and the other running back one is probably a better combination to have. So something to consider. Let me know your thoughts on that one. Doesn't help out our decision here though. I don't think I want to go wide receiver with this pick. There's a lot of wide receivers who are basically the same right now, and I know I need more of them, but to start off, I just feel like this range of running back I kind of can't pass up. We will be able to attack some wide receivers a little bit later on. I think I just have to attack this running back range. So let's see where. So I have Harvey at 505. We're at 609. I have Henderson at 512. They are the top running backs on the board. Dave Montgomery at 604. So even him not getting a ton of receptions, he still grades out as a good value. I think I go Harvey here. And I probably have to force myself to take a running back at the next one, or a wide receiver at the next one. But also, Harvey's not going to be taken. What do I have for the wide receivers? Okay, no, I have a Dunze still a very strong pick. I have a Dunze at 503. And JMO at 502, but JMO scares me a little bit. I feel like there's a lot more variance to that projection, whereas like a Dunze, we're pretty confident in roughly what his target share is going to be this season. I'm a little bit more scared of Jameson Williams. So I think I actually will draft a Dunze because I'm pretty darn sure Harvey or Henderson, one of them is going to be there at the next pick. All right, let's take him. After we go, Montgomery and Aaron Jones go off the board. Kyler Murray goes, Bo Nix goes, and then JMO and Brandon Ayuk coming off the knee injury, he goes. Okay, so our team. At wide receiver, we still do have T. Higgins, Marvin Harrison Jr., Zay Flowers, and Rome Odunze. That's still a really good foursome there. And then you've got Bijan and Hampton locked in, top two running backs. Value-wise, where do the tight ends start to come up here? So Porta's gone. Hawkinson is gone. We're still not good enough value. I have the tight ends kind of coming back at Johnny Smith. I have the top available at 808. We're at 704. I'm not about to reach on that. For quarterbacks, we're looking at a pretty similar range and potentially even a little bit later. I have Goff at 904. Caleb Williams I have at 806. But again, still, it's like the next round is when we should be looking at quarterback. We also know that, all these teams have quarterback. 2 teams don't have a quarterback right now. It's unlikely teams double dip. And if teams do double dip, that's something I always think in my drafts. It's like, look around, be like, okay, you guys are probably not taking a second quarterback. And if you do, you're just hurting yourself. So it's like, it's okay if someone's like, nope, there's a lot of quarterback value, I'm just taking a second one. Cool. They can hurt themselves. Like we will take the value that they are presenting. Eventually, they're going to stop taking quarterback. There's a lot of decent quarterbacks this season. If you miss out on the high end, it's totally fine. Just wait and wait and wait. And it's something we probably need to do because, again, I want 1 million wide receivers, and we did. It might continue to kind of forego. So, at wide receiver, Ridley, I have at 607. So that's a very strong value. I do have Ridley as the top wide receiver on the board. I was actually going over the Titans projections a little bit before now. They did sign Tyler Lockett, but man, you look at that room and it's like, you got Lockett, you've got Burks, sick, right? I don't even know if Boyd is signed right now. You've got two rookies who I don't have a lot of faith in either one of them doing a ton this season. And you got, Cam Ward, where you're like, okay, maybe we can see an increase here. Decent coaching. I don't know. I feel like Ridley could be a little bit of an upside play here. He was kind of a sleeper last season. Didn't totally work. Also didn't totally not work out. I don't know. I feel like he's got a decent amount of upside. And when you look at the target competition, there's basically none. He's the one I think we're probably going to go with at this pick. If you didn't go with him, Deebo Samuel is my next wide receiver. Shakir is kind of coming in a little bit after that. So good options. I think we probably have to do it. I would love to get Harvey on the team. I would love to get Henderson on the team. I don't think that's where the value is currently at in the draft. I know rankings wise, like my goodness though, I have Harvey at 505, Henderson at 512, and Ridley at 607. So like we could be getting with Harvey a 505 here. 2 rounds of value. Oh, we should have taken Jefferson at the beginning. My only question for myself is running back does dry up. Once we get past, I'm going to star all the running backs we'd want in this draft. We still want Warren, Judkins. I would take like Etienne, Caleb, Javonte. I would take Charbonnet, Tank, Mason, Scattaboo. And then it gets real thin, real fast. 2 in, blue, grossness. So those are all of the running backs that I would be like okay in drafting. So if we took Harvey here, like that is going to dry up relatively soon. We're probably planning on having 2 bench running backs, probably only 4 total running backs and a lot of wide receivers. So we're actually only drafting 2 more. So if I took Harvey and then I waited and took like Scattaboo or something a little bit later on, because he's going to be a great pass catching option for us, or took like Tootin really late, I would have 3 more rounds to take wide receiver and still kind of load up at that spot. Or I take Ridley. We don't get Harvey. We probably don't get Henderson. And then I'm probably taking like a Judkins or Caleb in the next round. Man, that's tough. But it's probably the smarter play. All right, we'll do it. We'll take... Oh, it worked out for us. My goodness. Okay, so we're still going to get Harvey. Ridley, we take it 704. Running backs do go, a lot of them. Judkins, Pollard, Javonte, Henderson, Swift, Warren, Tyron Tracy Jr., Caleb Johnson, but no RJ Harvey. He's still on the board. Our 505 is still on the board at 809. It's not even going to be a decision. We're going to take him. Jonnu goes, Goff goes, Purdy goes. So now every single team has a quarterback besides us. And then we see Deebo, Shakir, Diggs, Myers, and Jaden Reed come off the board. So not even a question. You draft RJ Harvey and you say thank you to everyone in the league. Again, I don't think he's going to be a featured running back this season. It doesn't matter. This late, there's no featured running backs. He is by far and away their best running back. There's a chance he still is featured. When you guys see him play in this offense, he's going to be so good. We were excited about like Jaleel McLaughlin and Estime last season simply because Sean Payton backfields are productive in fantasy. They just are. Like he has a good system for utilizing the running back position. But they all stunk. Javonte stunk. He's like 3.7 yards per carry last season. Jaleel turned out to be bad. Estime could not hold on to the football. And he can't catch. You're going to see Harvey go in there and you're going to be like, whoa. Like this kid is so good. It's going to be tough for them to keep him off the field. And that offense is going to be really good. So I'm very excited about getting that. Our team now. For running back, we have Bijan, Hampton, And Harvey at wide receiver, we've got Higgins, Marv, Flowers, Adunze, and Ridley. We've got 3 more bench spots. We still need a quarterback. We have 4 more bench spots. I miscounted. I did not scroll far enough. Okay, we have 4 more bench spots, so we actually might take, we'll see. We'll see what we do at running back, because now we're kind of locked in with those 3. We probably can only take 1 more, take 2 wide receivers. We could also double dip at quarterback. So we're now at 904. Caleb is still my top quarterback. I have him at 806. So we're actually at good value now for Caleb Williams. We can star him. But we can also risk it, right? I like Caleb Williams. I think Justin Fields, I kind of poo-pooed him in the Saturday video. But if we get him super late and we pair him with someone else, I'm good with that, right? If he starts to just take off every game, runs for 70 rushing yards, we have a nice floor and nice ceiling there. So you can still draft Justin Fields, just pair him with someone other than himself being solo. But also I was against him as the 11th quarterback off boards, which he's not right here. But Fields, Caleb, I'd be cool with Jordan Love, Drake May, Dak Prescott. That's probably where I'd be okay with my first quarterback. I'm good with other guys as my second quarterback. There's 5, and there's no way all 5 of those guys are being taken in the next round. So we'd wait. At tight end, I really like Ingram, but I'd be good with Ingram, Njoku, Kelsey, Andrews. That probably stops what I want in that range. And then again, like I've mentioned before, we've got Loveland and we've got Tyler Warren, guys I would want to double dip at quarterback with. Another one where I don't think all are going to be gone. So I actually think we can go skill player here. Wait, because we have the long turn, right? Go skill player. And then go quarterback tight end at 10, 11, and then go back. So who would be the top skill player on the board? If we're looking at wide receiver, I don't know, but it might be Golden. Yeah, it's looking like Golden, unless Pearsall is still there. I don't think he is. Yeah, okay. So Golden is an option for us. Golden, Ibuka. I like Shaheed, but he's definitely not a full PPR player. He's much more of a half PPR guy. Wouldn't say I'm in love with Mooney. Okay, so those are options there. So let's look at our stars. What should we go with this pick? I don't think it's running back. I don't think it's quarterback. It's basically, do we want to lock in Evan Ingram? We do have a Denver player, but I don't think that's a problem, because Evan Ingram could be a really nice option, full PPR formats for us. Maybe we do that just to be safe. What do people have at tight end? No tight end. 2, 3. There's 4 teams that don't have a tight end. Let's go with Evan Ingram. Let's take Ingram. Let's not risk it. Oh, man, that may have been a good decision. Yeah, because Njoku goes, Andrews goes, Kelsey goes. Who knows? They could have had another tight end go off the board, and then we'd have really had a drop off there. No quarterbacks go, so we're still locked in at quarterback. And we can still wait till the next round. So why don't we do that? Let's take, I think with Ingram, we're not going to take a backup tight end. So we still have 4 bench spots, quarterback, and defense. I would say go with, I would actually maybe say go with Mason here. I would say go Mason. Yeah. Jordan Mason, who's going to get 1 million touches this season. Golden goes. I can show you guys what happened there. Golden, Shaheed, Mims goes. Algier, Ford, and Benson also come off the board. So we take him. We're probably done at running back. I don't think we need any more of them. I think we risk it again at quarterback. I really just want one of those 5. I don't think all 5 are going to go off the board. So I'd probably take Ibuka. Full PPR, second half of the season. Maybe he can really work out. We don't have quarterbacks go off the board. I'll probably just take a quarterback with this pick, because now we're in the range. We're in a real draft. It's pretty unlikely that people would continue to hold off. I think in this general range, people are probably taking their second quarterback. So we'll take our top quarterback, which I have as Caleb Williams. And then maybe, what if we double dipped? So in the research I've done, which I need to update kind of the research, waiting a while for quarterback typically it's best to double dip. If you've waited this long, the value you've acquired at other positions is significant enough to where these later round running backs and wide receivers are less likely to be impactful. Because you spent more draft capital at your starters of non-quarterback, taking another wide receiver here, like minimal chances they end up in our starting lineup. If we went with a wide receiver, I mean, we could look at Bateman. We could look at, really, I did not want to click Slayton there. Like Douglas, Coker, maybe if you like him. Beach, if you think he breaks out. Palmer, if you think he could kind of step up and be their like true X, maybe passes Keon Coleman, but not much that you want there. I said we probably don't need a backup. If you want to go to backup tight end, you could go Loveland or Warren or Pitts or Goddard. You go with any of them. But I think there's value in taking that second quarterback and taking a shot. So like, why not just draft Justin Fields? Be like, okay, maybe he hits, maybe he doesn't, but I have Caleb Williams kind of start the season. We can see what Fields does. Again, if he's running for 60, 70, 80 yards every game, then we can just throw him into the starting lineup. We can trade him. We can do a number of different things. So maybe we just take Fields as the backup quarterback. We go in here and maybe take a shot at running back with the next one. I don't hate Devin Neal if you think he can be what they thought Kendre Miller would be. I don't hate Elijah Mitchell if you think he can break out and be how good he was on San Fran, but on Kansas City. Ollie Gordon, some people like. Maybe he emerges as that backup to Devon Achane. Not many sure things, though, at this general range of the draft. Jaquez Hunter would honestly probably be my favorite among that group. So you could take Jaquez Hunter or a backup tight end. I don't think we need to take the backup, though. I mean, realistically, if this is like free agency in the league, I'll have an option. If Evan Ingram gets injured, you're more likely to get like an injury or a breakout at running back and kind of have value at that spot. And then, I don't know. I haven't done any research into the defenses this season. All right. I think that team worked out really, really nicely. I don't know how to zoom there. I think it's probably command in this. I don't know. You guys can probably see everything though. So, there's the squad. Starting lineup. Caleb Williams, Bijan, Amarian Hampton, T, Marv, Zay, Evan Ingram, Adunze, Lions, and then the bench, Ridley, Harvey, Jordan Mason, Ibuka, Justin Fields, and Jarquez Hunter. I think that's a very, very strong team. Again, we don't have a million running backs, but we went pretty heavy at the position. I think we honestly have the perfect mixture of running backs. 2 extraordinarily strong options. A third one I think we could mix in right away, maybe even into the flex spot if like Adunze doesn't get going right away, if we have injuries, bye weeks, things like that at the other wide receiver spots, and maybe we don't trust Ridley. Maybe Ibuka takes a while to break out. I think it's a really, really strong starting lineup, and then we have that contingent upside with Fields, but if not, Caleb Williams with the new coach. I think that worked out very nicely. Let me know who you think had the best. Oh, I'm not in here. I'm not in the experts that think it did the best. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. What would you have done at some of those decisions? I'll be back Wednesday for another video. Be sure to do some mock drafts on the app. It is free. Link in the description box down below. Draft teams. Check out who you'd be taking on the players tab and fill out your must draft players, your sleepers, and the players you don't like the most. We're doing an accuracy competition this season to see who has the most accurate takes. So start filling those things out, and we see what people like. That'll do it for this one, though. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you all on the Wednesday video.